Hey everybody, you found it. It's Weather for Weather Geeks on this Monday evening. Hope you had a good weekend, and while the weather certainly turned hotter and more humid as the weekend wore on, today was definitely a steamy one, and we thought it was going to be our 12th 90-degree temperature of the season so far, but we stopped just shy of 90 today, 88 officially at the Youngstown Warren Airport in Vienna. 81, of course, is the average here in early August, and the record was out of reach today. That record 96 set in 1930. Record low, doesn't that sound refreshing? 45 degrees back in 1972. So yeah, we've had 11 90-degree plus temperatures this year, putting us on par with where we were last year, also in 2011. In recent times, 2012 and 2018 were kind of the big years for heat. We had 18 90-degree days those summers, and the record, 1931 and 1943, we had 40 90-degree days those years, but those are very lofty numbers that we haven't even really come close to ever since those summers. It is muggy. Definitely a rise in those dew points over the last 24 hours or so, and so we have early evening dew points in the mid-60s this evening, and one thing we've been watching very carefully all day is this monster line of storms that formed across the upper Midwest earlier today and raced across Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, parts of Michigan. This probably technically a derecho, given the length of the line. This has had a history of Doppler radar estimated 100 plus mile per hour wind gusts. Now, I haven't seen a lot of ground truth just yet as far as what the measured wind gusts with this have been at some of the official reporting stations. I have not been on social media as much as I am a lot of days, so I haven't seen what actually has transpired, but I did see some radar estimates that were in the triple digits earlier on today. This is producing severe weather still this evening around Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, and up into parts of Michigan as well. And thankfully for us, this is going to weaken as it starts coming to the east. Lots and lots of reports of severe weather over the last 12 hours, a couple of reports of flash flooding, and of course, a funnel cloud or two, one report of a tornado, but most of this has been wind damage, as you would expect with a derecho type of event. This line, expected by the models here to weaken and also kind of nosedive a little bit to the south as we head through the overnight. So this will be a problem for Indianapolis, maybe Dayton, Cincinnati, maybe Louisville, but this far to the north and east, I think we'll just have a partly cloudy sky as we head through the overnight tonight. All right, so one of the best meteor showers of the year does reach its peak later on tonight. This is the Perseids meteor shower. Now, the question I always get with meteor showers is, what direction should I look? And the honest answer is, it really doesn't matter. You can just look anywhere, really, and see a meteor. Now, these appear to be originating from a constellation, I should say, but you don't have to look at that constellation. You can look just about anywhere as long as you find a dark enough spot, and give your eyes plenty of time to adjust, about 10 to 20 minutes for your eyes to get used to that dark spot. And you might be able to spot up to 10 or so meteors per hour. Now, that's going to be if you find a real dark spot. If you are in Boardman or somewhere where there's a lot of light pollution, you're not going to see nearly that many. And there'll be a few clouds around from time to time tonight as well. So conditions won't be perfect for viewing the meteor shower, but it is one of the better ones of the year. A lot of people like this one because it occurs in the middle of summer when it's warm out in the evenings, and it's pleasant to check them out. They tend to be a little more popular, those meteor showers this time of the year, than the ones that happen in the dead of winter. A lot of people don't want to stand outside at 11 o'clock at night when it's 10 degrees outside. All right, as we go into our Tuesday week, cool front heading our way. While this is a weak front, it may be just enough to spark a stray shower or storm as we get into the afternoon. I've got a 20% chance in our current forecast. I wouldn't count on it. Most of us won't see the rain. There is a little bit of a dew point change coming behind this front, though, for Wednesday and for Thursday. Actually, a couple of pretty nice days. I've left a real small chance of a shower or a storm in Thursday afternoon's forecast, but I think the chances of that coming to fruition are definitely higher as you get down towards Pittsburgh into Morgantown as well. Around here, I think we're largely dry. And yeah, no more upper 60s dew points, at least for a couple days. Dew points will probably mix out into the 50s by Wednesday afternoon, kind of similar territory on Thursday, before it turns muggy again by Friday and the upcoming weekend. Overall, this, despite that little reprieve from the dew points, this is a pretty steamy pattern. But as we go into early next week, beyond the weekend, our big ridge will kind of retreat some out into the western U.S., kind of across the Four Corners region, allowing a little bit of a trough to develop in the east, and that will allow subtly cooler air. Now, again, it's not October, so it's not going to be like crisp and chilly out, but subtly cooler weather will probably transpire as we go into the first half of next week. I did want to talk about some longer range fun and games. I forgot to show this on Thursday evening. I did post a little on Twitter about this, but the Facebook audience, this will be new stuff. I wanted to geek out to some longer range stuff here. This is the European model, seasonal outlooks. And of course, the European model, if you've been watching this video for a long time, you know it's one of our major kind of medium range computer models. The European model is run every day out through a couple of weeks. Well, once a month, the seasonal forecasts are generated from the European Center, in which you can look at the forecasts out to 6 months for temperatures, for precipitation anomalies, that sort of thing. Of course, just like with any model, once you start looking out into the real long range, you know, this gets to be, you got to take the stuff with a big grain of salt. But here's the September outlook from the European Center, temperature anomalies, and it wouldn't shock too many people if this ended up being right, because Septembers around here lately have been like August part 2. We haven't had a cool September for a while, and it's been quite warm in September, actually, for a lot of the last 5 years. And so a pattern that looks like this, east of the Mississippi, showing a lot of warm anomalies, nobody's going to be shocked if that ends up being the right idea. For even more fun and games, let's talk about the winter for just a second. Of course, it's August. We're not going to take any winter forecasts real seriously at this time of the year, but just for fun, here's what the European model is showing for the overall weather pattern across North America in February. February. So this is February at the end of winter. If this were to be exactly right, which of course it's not going to be, but if it were to be exactly right, this would just be a blowtorch pattern across a lot of the U.S., not unlike what we had at times this past winter. That's February. Let's back up to the start of winter. Here's December, not exactly a cool-looking map. Here's January. This is really picking up on the big southeast ridge of high pressure, which generated all the warmth last winter, being a player again this winter. Now, again, we're going to take this with a big old grain of salt. But it'll be interesting to see, as we get into the fall season and start talking a little bit more seriously about the winter forecast, it'll be interesting to see if these very early ideas from the European model end up having some merit. All right, that's enough geekiness for tonight. Thanks for watching tonight's Weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you back here, same time, same place on Tuesday. Have a great Monday night.